Good evening, everyone. I've fixed my makeup because, wouldn't you know it, God damn it, I did cry. Once again, watching Avengers Endgame. I didn't cry at the Cap stuff, but the Tony stuff got me once again. I think I was just so happy for Cap, but I'm so glad you guys enjoyed the watch party. I have to tell you, the watch party was the most successful one we've had yet. Well over 1,000 people, well over 1,300 people watching consistently for the entire film. That was so cool. We really interactive. I'm so happy the BTT memberships. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out when I started. As you know, I started out at Twitch, but then YouTube launched the ability to do that kind of programming here, and I'm like, well, that's where everybody is. That's where I know everybody. Let's go back to YouTube. And it's just worked out so well, and I'm having such a good time. Membership is really growing substantially. So many more members. The live streams are so great. The next live stream is Sunday. So for all of you who've just joined this evening, it's four days a week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so it was really a fun time. The next, just so you know, you can mark your calendars. Let's see here. David, that's not very nice. Okay, so anyway, all right, David, the joys of live interaction. All right, so anyway, the next watch-along party is going to be on August 27th for Aladdin, the live-action Aladdin. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to watch Aladdin, and we're going to do another Q&A. That'll be I like to do them the day that the movie comes out available for streaming. I think that's the most fun time to do it. I know that it's more easy sometimes to do it like on a Friday or a Saturday, but I think that doing it the day it comes out and everybody wants to watch it is just, I think that's a little bit more fun. So it's tough, but it's, that's the decision we're going to make. But I'm so glad everybody feels that the membership is worth it. It makes me very happy. All right, so this is the Avengers Avengers Endgame live Q&A. You may ask me anything that you would like. We're going to talk about anything that you want to. It's an interactive discussion. We'll go till 11 o'clock. So that's a pretty good chunk of time for us to talk. All right, so I guess the first question I want to ask you guys, the first thing I want to ask is the usual. We do this all the time for memberships, and we did it with the watch along, but let's do it here because there might be some people joining who couldn't make not everybody has access to the movie. For instance, in the UK, you can't even stream it. I don't know why it's not day and date, but whatevs. Where is everybody streaming from this evening? Where are you watching from? That's why I like to kick these things off. I'd just like to know where everybody's from, and then we'll get to the questions portion. It's just fun to see it from people are all over the globe. I know some of you stayed up real late for this, so I appreciate it. It's my pleasure, Grismeyer. What a nice thing for you to say. I have not seen the Tenet trailer. I'm planning to see Hobbs and Shaw again this weekend because I have some friends who want to go, and I'm going to have to leave the frickin' theater when the trailers are on. Callum is from London at 3 in the morning, 3:35. You are a saint for staying up with me. I really appreciate it. Oh, Saucy's in Hawaii, though. Aloha to you as well. Thingathu is in Vegas. Juan is in Buenos Aires. Mommy needs a nap. Oh, I always love your name. Is in her bed in Arkansas. Carol's in Winnipeg. Marvin's in Lima, Peru. Gnat is still in Toronto. Welcome, Martinez. Tyler's cooking a turkey burger after work. That sounds delicious. Carmelo is in Montreal. Oh, Michael's in Pittsburgh, in bed eating almonds. Interesting, not crackers. But I have family in Pittsburgh, so I love Pittsburgh. Fantastic city. Lime Green Yummy Yummy has joined. Welcome. Daniel, it's just 9:30 for Daniel in Central Time Zone. Oh, Ishmael's on the Upper East Side. Hello, fellow New Yorker. Sainterman's in Melbourne, Australia. Good day to you too, mate. Let's see. Martinez is in Northern Michigan. Why So Serious is watching from Brazil. The movie lover is eating shawarma at my break at work. Are you working at the movie theater? Alex, you're at the Grand Floridian in Disney World? Oh, I'm so jealous. That is my second favorite hotel. It used to be my favorite hotel, but my favorite hotel is now the Contemporary Resort. I love it. It still has like a city feel to it. I think they have I like their snack area, but the Grand Floridian's really nice. And they're building a walkway now from the Grand Floridian so you can walk to the Magic Kingdom because sometimes it's a little bit tough with the monorail. Hi, Jerem. Mika's watching from Vought Tower. Love it. All right, so nice talking to everybody. So let's talk about Avengers Endgame. All right, so I'll start taking questions. You can ask me anything that you would like. Anything you would like. Ask away. There's a little bit of a lag, so I have to wait for you to catch up to me. YouTube's a little bit of a lag. Oh, so Jico has a question that he asked before, and that is, how do Pym particles work? Well, we'd have to ask Hank Pym. I'm not quite sure how they work. I just love them, and I wish that they were used more creatively all the time. For instance, I don't know why it took so long for Ant-Man to be Giant Man, and why it's used so sparingly still. Mina Massoud can't be Wolverine. I don't know if Mina Massoud needs to come over to the MCU. I want him to be busy making Aladdin movies, quite frankly. I think he can make a lot of great Aladdin movies. I'm very excited about it. Joey says, do you think Deadpool is coming to the MCU? I guarantee it. There's no way he's not coming to the MCU. I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe he'll be in the Blade movie. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think he's definitely going to come. Mika says, why didn't Ant-Man get Michelle Pfeiffer's powers? That's a good question. I'm still a little sketchy on what her powers are. Maybe because she was in there for so much longer than he was. He was only in there for 5 years. And also, he had a suit on, and you might recall she was just kind of walking around au naturel. Dwayne says, do you think Tony might come back as a Skrull? I think they're going to be very sparing in how they have these characters return. And he's definitely probably going to come back as artificial intelligence. He might. I think that, as I said in my video talking about the upcoming Doctor Strange sequel, since they're doing the multiverse, I think it's very likely you're going to see alternate reality versions of a number of big characters. And I'm sure maybe Cap and or Iron Man and Black Widow, the characters that have been taken off the board. Mika, that's a DC question, but I'm excited for Darkseid's I-beams, but I still, after watching Thanos, I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how it's going to work bringing Darkseid in. Let's see here. Matt says, Grace, do you think Catherine Langford should be cast as Tony Stark's daughter if they do a Young Avengers movie? They can't turn all the Avengers into women. And they have a lot of really great female characters, as we saw when A-Force assembled. So you can't have Thor be a woman. You can't have Iron Man. That's Riri Williams. I know Riri Williams is the comic book Ironheart, but she's never been a popular character. And Shuri is right there. And I think Shuri would be a wonderful Iron Man. And she can't be Black Panther because T'Challa just got started in the MCU. So Jeff says, will an MCU movie ever be able to top Avengers Endgame's box office? I don't know. Maybe Doctor Strange. Whatever movie features the return of Tony Stark in some capacity, I think that's going to be the one. Let's see here. Juan Carlos says, if Thanos was the big villain, who will be the next one? I'm hearing Norman Osborn. I think that's a great choice. Maybe some Skrulls. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Talos' daughter. Danny says, do you think Avengers 5 could top Avengers 4 at the box office? I got to see what it looks like. It's always a possibility. Okay, my friend says, who would make a good A-Force villain? Who do they fight in the comics? I got to tell you, A-Force never really took off in the comics. It was always kind of poorly written, to be honest with you. It was a cool idea. It was like they had an all-female X-Men team. That also didn't work. But I'm sure they could come up with somebody. Any tea, Cole? I do have some tea for you. I heard that John David Washington, Denzel's son, is in talks to be Lucius Fox in the upcoming Batman movie. I think that's kind of like not a cool role for him, to be honest with you. But I think obviously he has the connection with Robert Pattinson in the Tenet movie that's coming up. So it looks like he'll be young Morgan Freeman. He's just in talks, though. I don't know if it's necessarily going to happen. Oh, Derek, yeah, the Mandarin, maybe. That could be cool. If Shang-Chi doesn't do well in China, I don't know what they're doing with that. Hey, Adrian. Alex says, did you hear the Henry Golding is Namor rumors? I did not. I don't know if they should do Namor. Aquaman was so freaking successful. I gotta tell you, as a DC fan, I'm gonna be pretty ticked off if the MCU does Namor. They don't need it. They have, or it's Namor or whatever. They have so many freaking characters. They don't need it. They don't need Namor. And there's no way you can do a better job than James Wan did with Underwater Kingdoms. You can't. You can't. Carmelo says, where do you think we'll see Ant-Man and the Wasp next? Avengers 5? Oh, that's so long. I don't know. Not in a Phase 4 movie. I think Namor is a Black Panther villain. I mean, cats hate water. They gonna send T'Challa underwater? Really? Anthony says, do you think when Kevin Feige is ready to retire, the MCU will finish? No. I don't think so. I mean, Disney won't let it, right? It's too much money for them. So I think that Kevin Feige has a long way to go in his career. I mean, look how long Stan Lee was working. And Kevin Feige, I think, at least has probably 20 to 30 years left on him, professionally. So, and then I think he won't, Kevin Feige's pretty smart. I don't think that he would plan a replacement. He wouldn't groom a replacement until like really close to the end. Because when you groom a replacement, they can replace you. So, Juan says, what character would you give a Disney Plus show? There was a rumor that Gamora and Nebula would have a show, and I would love to watch that show. Max, you just trying to be funny with Kristen Stewart as She-Hulk. I think Kristen Stewart had a moment there where it looked like she was maybe a good actress, but I think Charlie's Angels has ruined that. Timothy Chalamet as Wiccan is a pretty darn good idea. But he might be a little bit too old for Wiccan at this point. Cedric says, what do you think about the rumor of Eva Green as Nightmare in Doctor Strange 2? I don't even know if Nightmare is going to be in Doctor Strange. Let's just see. But I don't know why Eva Green doesn't get more work. It's sad. Evelyn, Dora Milaje Disney Plus show is a great idea. Love it. DeAndre, I'm sorry your thing got blocked for some reason. Hilary Swank as She-Hulk is a good idea. I kind of like that. Who's Naomi? How did I forget who Naomi Scott is? She doesn't work enough. Oh yeah, from Aladdin. Good Lord. I think she's too young for that role. Oh, Jonathan, I do have a casting choice for Storm. Thanks for bringing it up. Let me look it up here. It's the new Queen and Slim. So I've been seeing the new Queen and Slim trailers, and I thought that this newcomer, Jodie Turner-Smith, and her co-star is Daniel Kaluuya, who of course was in the first Black Panther. But this Jodie Turner-Smith, I think she's a new discovery. She looks like a Storm to me. I think she looks great. She's really tall. She looks gorgeous. I would totally cast her. I think it's her first, because the trailer said introducing her. Oh yeah, she's done some other stuff. What? She's done a bunch of other stuff. What the what? But I've never seen her before. She's been working for a little bit, but I think she's really cool. So look up Jodie Turner-Smith. I think she'd be an excellent Storm. She had a regal quality to her. Janelle Monáe, she's very small, Janelle Monáe. I don't know what's going on with Janelle Monáe. I don't know why she can't get more work. Oh, I'm glad a number of you guys agree. She's a great choice. Jico, I don't know if they both killed themselves on Vormir. Hey, Andre, maybe you just get 2 stones. He's like, please mail them to the Avengers. Waffle says, will James Cameron re-release Avatar to beat out? No, because Disney won't let them. Disney's like, your movie's real old. If James Cameron wants that crown, he's got to earn it with a new movie. I think Wasp, Alex, I agree. I think Wasp should be running the Avengers. That was my choice to lead the new team. Hey, Nova Prime, great name. Yeah, I agree, Sebastian. I would love Storm to be in Black Panther 2 because I feel Ryan Coogler would do a great job with the character. I think he would do her right and establish her really well. Tyler, enjoy your turkey burger. I'm glad it's done. Ari says, do you think that Whedon was better at handling Wanda and her powers? No, I don't think so at all. I think the Russos do an amazing job with female characters. As I said during the stream, with all due respect to James Gunn, who did, who did introduce the character, I think that the Russos did so much more with her in this movie. The Russos really elevate characters. I'm very impressed with their work. Mac, they're not making that Gambit movie. They might in the future someday, but Marvel's not doing that. Hey, Sabapunk, that's a cool name, an Avatar picture. Jonathan says, do you think Avatar 2 could reclaim the global box office crown? Never say never when it comes to Jim Cameron, but I have my doubts. Hey, Juan, I rewatched Avatar recently. I was on an airplane and I've seen all the movies. So I was like, I'll rewatch Avatar. And the beginning of it was pretty good, but then it got horrible again. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember why I hate this movie. So I don't know. Let's see here. Joseph says, will the Russo brothers' next directed movie be a hit? I have to see it, but certainly not at the level of these movies. The Chris channel, I don't know what they're doing with Monica Rambeau on the Disney Plus show. The question is, will she have her powers when we meet her or not? I suspect not. I think you're going to want to see that happen. I think she works for SWORD in space. That's what I think she does. Mika says, why did they cut the Keanu cameo in Hobbs and Shaw? They felt that I think it had gotten out. There's like a really porous group. Like there's a group who get like all these spoilers, and they just leak them like crazy. They're everywhere. Which is why I talked about that Birds of Prey thing, because so many people knew it. I was like, it's only a matter of time before it comes out. And also, this is a bad idea. Let me help you, Warner Brothers. As I said when I tweeted it, I was like, what if somebody had told them that the Martha idea was not going to work out? So many people knew about Keanu Reeves, and so they cut it. I got to tell you, that movie is not doing well so far. I think it's a little funny that Christopher Nolan's like, I want to preserve cinema, so I'm going to only show my trailer in front of Hobbs and Shaw. And you're like, oh, really? The movie doesn't have particularly good reviews. It's not doing well in the theater, and it's for a different studio. So what are you doing? Let's see here. Roberto says, do you think some other franchise could be more successful than Marvel? Here's the thing. Marvel's not only successful, but that's a good question, Juan. Where they really have a problem, or where they have where everybody else has a problem, is that Marvel is not only popular, but prolific. For instance, oh, hello, Fishman family. That's a wonderful name. That's a problem, okay? Because Star Wars only puts out one movie they want to do a movie a year, but now they have to they have to take a little bit of a break. Hey, glorious mustache. I love Ron Burgundy. And then also, for instance, Jurassic Park movies do well, but they can't have that many movies. They can only do one a year, and they can't do one every year. So that's really the problem. That's the problem, that Marvel not only is successful and popular, but they are prolific. And the only company I think that can possibly challenge them is DC. But they don't do it. Anthony says, what do you think D23 will reveal? Phase 4 trailers, Phase 5 announcements? Not any trailers. Maybe some... you might get some more detailed announcements for Phase 4, or he could announce Phase 5. He said Phase 5 is planned. Here are some major movies that need some love. Some fandoms that need to get a little bit of a feeling that something's coming for them. My guess would be Phase 5. And maybe a Blade director. That would be great. Maybe Wesley Snipes. Although, as people pointed out, Wesley Snipes beat Halle Berry so bad she lost her hearing in one ear. So I don't really know if Marvel wants that. Although they hired back James Gunn, as I like to say. But anyway... I think that they're definitely going to show a lot of D23 stuff. You're going to see the Mandalorian. Apparently there's a Lady in the Tramp thing. I don't know if those things will go to the public, but I think you'll see some stuff. Let's see here. Dennis says the other studios don't have the patience to build up something like the MCU. I think that's true, and also they don't have fans working on the material. Joey, have fun at D23. That's true, Davey. It's not as bad with James Gunn, but pedophilia jokes are pretty bad. That's very sweet of you, TJ. Yad said, is Rachel Weisz's involvement in Black Widow an obvious cash grab, considering her not wanting to do blockbusters after the Mummy movies? I'm glad you remember that as well. I thought that was pretty uncool of Rachel Weisz. Maybe not a Rachel Weisz fan, to be honest with you. And I think that she and Daniel Craig like to complain, but yet they certainly always take the money, right? Let's see how she does. I think she's a good villain, though, and I have to say I think she's well cast in a Black Widow movie. Like, if someone's a Russian villain, it's Rachel Weisz. Black Panther 2 could do really well, Jonathan. I wish he could get Craven. I would be like, Amy Pascal, what do you want for Craven? She's like, use Tom Hardy's Venom. I'd be like, fine. Thanks, Anthony. Cole, I haven't heard anything about Wonder Woman 1984, except, of course, the rumor that they're doing reshoots. Again. Hey, Pastor Madeline. Let's see here. Chris Channel says, what do you think happens to the Skrulls since we don't really see them in Phase 4 movies? Or do we? Haha, I agree. I bet they're planting those seeds for sure. Jack, Amy Pascal has a large deal at Universal, but she is staying with the Spider-Man franchise as well. So she'll make most of her movies for Universal, but she will continue to steer the Spider-Man universe. Tyler says, how are we supposed to know how much of Nick Fury in the MCU is actually Fury and not Talos? You don't. You don't know. Chris says, do you think the next Avengers movie will be at the end of Phase 5? Probably. Yeah, I think there will be. Maybe it'll be Secret Invasion. Randy, I'm not sure about DC streaming news, but I think we're getting Titans in September and Harley Quinn in October, so I'm pretty excited. Sabapunk says, how in the world will vampires be introduced into the MCU? You got me. It seems ridiculous, but let's see what Kevin Feige's got. Danny says, do you think Disney will fund an Alita sequel? I do not, but I think they might make a Disney Plus show maybe, but I don't see it, quite frankly. James says, do you think Cats could actually be good? Tom Hopper's a pretty talented director, and he's made 2 movies that were very well received. So I think, yeah, there's a chance that it's certainly interesting. Fishman Family says, Marvel theme park rights? Disney can use them anywhere outside of Orlando, which really sucks because that's where their giant theme park is. But that's why they're doing so. They're building currently a Marvel land at Disney's California Adventure, which I'm very excited about. I actually do have some Disney animation tea, but I promised my source that I couldn't share it, so I'm sorry. Like, I made a very strong promise to someone who is very nice and doesn't usually give tea, so they would get in trouble. Let's see here. Order says, do you think Marvel could ever top Endgame quality-wise? Secret Invasion? Totally. Who's the Skrull? That's an amazing game. I can't wait to play it. There's nothing silly about Orlando, James. It's just that they already have Marvel at Universal. Daniel says, how long do you think we'll have to wait for The Boys season 2? They're filming it right now. So I bet you early 2020 we get it. Daniel says, Grace, do you think Feige could get more prestigious talent into Marvel films? They can't get more prestigious, quite frankly. Hey, Joanne. They're really, really, really successful. And they're getting huge Oscar-winning actors. I think maybe the question is, could they get bigger behind-the-camera people, like bigger name directors? That would be a big coup for him. But I think Kevin Feige is real involved. So that's why I think DC is able to get a little bit better directors, because they give them more leeway. But the downside is they aren't able to build anything. Joseph, I don't think Universal will ever lose the rights to Hulk. Because how could it not have happened by now? Right? That's right, Jake. 2 minutes. We're ending at 11. Who are the Skrull BTT members, Dennis? Good question. TJ Williams, they haven't even started filming Umbrella Academy Season 2. Cole says, thoughts on a Wakanda-themed land at one of the Disney parks. I think it's a must. I really want a Wakanda land to show up in Animal Kingdom. I think it would be amazing. Danny, a Captain Marvel 2. I would really love Captain Marvel 2 to feature A-Force. I think that would be just absolutely perfect. Alex says, do you think the MCU will lose quality when it runs out of source material? I'm really nervous about it, especially because of the state of comics today. But I gotta tell you, Jonathan Hickman, who I usually despise as a writer, has so far knocked it out of the park with his debut of the X-Men comics, with the first issues of House of X and Powers of X. Particularly House of X. Powers of X is a little too meta. Not meta, cerebral. But I really like it. So I think maybe that could be an interesting story. I don't know about Galactus. Galactus seems a little bit too difficult to me to do. All right, we have 1 minute. I wouldn't do an Asgard land, Jonathan. I don't think you need it. The Geeky Gator, I'm so sorry. We only have a minute left, but I'm so glad you're here for it. I feel bad for Wonder Woman 1984. It took so freaking long to make it. Now American Horror Story is doing 1984. 1917, the new Sam Mendes movie, has a year for the title. It's just ridiculous. Robbie Monroe, sure you're not. Sure. Anyone who says they're not a Skrull, I don't know if I trust you. The Geeky Gator says, Robert Downey Jr. versus Joaquin Phoenix at the Oscars. Who wins? I don't know if Joaquin Phoenix is going to get nominated. As I've said on the member live streams, I think there's a real problem with the fact that Heath Ledger already won for playing the Joker. And so I feel, they're not going to do it twice. It's 11 o'clock. I'll take 2 more questions. The Fishman family says, do you think that Feige would ever move to Star Wars to fix them? No, I think he loves his job. He's doing a great job with it. He doesn't need to do that. I think they need someone else besides Kathleen Kennedy, though. Let's see here. Bye, Trebrano. I'm sorry about that, Andrew, but they come out so late on physical DVD that I can't wait that long to do the streaming party. Evelyn, that's an interesting point about Robert Downey Jr. and supporting. But he was a lead for so long. I think that the argument, as I said before, the argument that Robert Downey Jr. was the head of this franchise for 10 years and brought it to the heights that he did is a really good argument for an accomplishment. Good night, okay, my friend. Bye, Missionary Jay. Last question has nothing to do with Marvel. Okay, Alberto says, how do you feel about a 3-hour It movie? It's a little under 3 hours is what I heard, but I'm excited. I thought that last trailer was quite good. So I had heard that they wanted to maybe cut it into 2 films because it's so long and do a chapter 2 and chapter 3, but they decided to go for a juggernaut second film. So I'm very curious to see how it does. I thought it was looking a little weak there, but sure enough, when they made a trailer that didn't just focus on Jessica Chastain, it was far more successful. All right, everybody, it's 11:02. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. If you are a member, I'll see you Sunday at 10 a.m. for the next stream, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're not a member, consider joining. We do live streams 4 days a week, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that, I do a weekend one so that people can join in. Maybe you can't make it during the week, because we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then then you're allowed to comment when we do these watch-along parties. And the next one, again, is Aladdin. On Tuesday, August 27th, we'll be watching the live-action Aladdin movie and doing a Q&A afterwards. All right, everybody, have a lovely evening. And, of course, for everybody, Movie Math will be on Sunday, and I think we're going to be talking about how happy Vin Diesel is. Okay, bye, everybody. Have a great day, Maruna. Bye. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for joining.